Greetings from the humongous. Just surrender the gasoline and nobody shall be hurt. The real reason why I'm here today is to review The Road Warrior. It is the second Mad Max film, and before I go too far with this, I'm going to let Tom Richardson review it, because Lord Humongous should not review his own movie. So hey guys, that was a mask I got for a Jason Voorhees costume a while back, but it's very fitting for this movie because there is a character in this second Mad Max film called Lord Humongous, and he has this hockey mask on. He's really big and muscular, and he basically looks like what I just showed you a second ago. So yeah, so for today's movie review, I am going to talk about Mad Max 2: The Road Warrior. The reason why I'm not reviewing the first film first, one would expect me to do that for doing a whole franchise. Uh, I wasn't able to track down that first film, and this is definitely a double feature disc that I was very fortunate to find. It was for a very low price. And the other obviously reason too is because Mad Max 4: The Road Warrior is coming up soon, and I'm going to try to review as many of the Mad Max films from previously as I can before that movie comes out. So, but for as far as Mad Max goes, one thing I've always kind of been connected to with Mad Max is that I forget the character's name. I know in Weird Science he's called like Lord General, but that character and that actor Vernon Wells from Road Warrior was in Weird Science, basically playing the same character that he did in Road Warrior since it was so successful at the time. And then my other connection with Mad Max is obviously Tina Turner, who's right here, who's in the third film, which I'm hoping to review soon. She did the song for GoldenEye for 007 GoldenEye, so that's kind of my connection with that. Tina Turner's done some other songs that I'm pretty familiar with as well. But back to the actual thing why we're here for the video. We're going to review Mad Max 2: The Road Warrior. Another reason why I kind of wanted to review this film first, even more so than the first one, is because I know the new movie is very much in line of Road Warrior more than anything. It's going to be apocalyptic. It's it very much makes Max not so much a police officer anymore. He's just a man on the run. And I think that's something that Mad Max 2 started that we're going to get all the way, in Mad Max 3 and 4. So let's get to the end of the review. So in Mad Max 2: The Road Warrior, Max is living in this apocalyptic wasteland. It's shared right away in the movie that, only the best survive, only the, people who know how to outrun these bandits and criminals, and who aren't hungry for the gasoline like a lot of them were. A lot of them didn't live through the apocalypse, and so now everybody who's did live through it is on the run. They're looking for gasoline. They're using whatever cars or vehicles they can get a hold of to travel through the wastelands and the desert. And Max is one of the best when it comes to that. He knows how to outrun almost any situation. There's a lot of people who fear him and things like that, so he's just not a man you want to mess with. But he comes across a tribe who has a good supply of gasoline through a series of events, and through a man that he meets right away in the film in the desert with his dog, because he has a dog with him in this movie. And this tribe has a really good supply of gasoline. They have enough to cover Max's car for a while, and even if Max loses his car, there's plenty of gasoline to go into whatever other motor vehicle he can get his hands on. But they run into a tribe that's called the Lord Humongous tribe that they are having problems with. The Lord Humongous in his tribe, who Max actually had to deal with earlier in the movie with as well, want the gasoline. They're going to do almost anything to get it. They're willing to kill anybody in this tribe who gets in their way. And so since Max is, so desperate for gasoline, and he's kind of lost everything, he's lost his family at this point, and from what we're able to gather, and he doesn't really like to talk about it, in Mad Max fashion, he tries to keep his dialogue as minimal as he can. Maybe he'll tell a select few people his name, but that's about it. But he really wants to help out this tribe. He wants to not only for the gasoline for his car, but he knows that this tribe is well intentioned and that they're not like the Lord Humongous tribe where they're going to try to do whatever they can to steal away this gasoline. And so he does whatever he can to help them make sure that this other tribe doesn't get it. So throughout the course of the film, it's about him helping this well intentioned tribe, protecting their gasoline supply from this tribe that really doesn't mean good intentions at all. So overall, I really enjoyed the Road Warrior, guys. It's the second Mad Max film, like I mentioned earlier, and even not seeing the first film going into this one, I really liked what they did here. I really like how George Miller tried to do a lot of his own stunts. I know he's very big on making his actors and actresses perform their own stunts in his movies, and I think that's awesome. That's something that I hope the new Mad Max film keeps, because there's a lot of action films today that don't really do that, and I'm glad that the Mad Max franchise is something that's always been consistent with that. So huge thumbs up to George Miller. I hope more directors make their actors and actresses perform their own stunts, because the way that they're done here in Mad Max is pretty awesome. So for my positives and negatives of Mad Max 2, The Road Warrior, I like Mad Max's psychology. I like how, he's somebody who lost his family, but at the same time, he knows a good and well intentioned person when he sees one, and he knows how well intentioned this tribe is, and he's, willing to help them out. And I like how, like I said, I like his psychology. I like the way Max thinks, and I like how, from what I know about the franchise in general, that, whatever current situation he's in his life, if it's been a long time since he's lost his family, he's kind of lost hope in humanity, or if he recently lost his family and sees good people, he wants to make sure that they stay around, or if he has to be on the run, he has to be on the run. He's willing to do whatever it takes to survive in his car and whatnot. And like I said, I just really like the Mad Max psychology that they use in this movie, and I really hope that going into the later ones and the earlier ones, hopefully that maintains it, because I really like what George Miller did here with that. I like how this is an on the move apocalyptic story. I like how Max is always moving. He's always in his car trying to, help out people who really mean the best for everything. And I like how it's always moving. It's not really a very, obviously it takes its moments to develop some of the characters and things, but it's always on the move. It's always doing something. I really like how this is an apocalyptic story that's always doing that. There's some terrific action scenes here. Like I mentioned earlier, George Miller does like it when his actors and actresses perform their own stunts. And even if it's not, even if it's a stunt double for a select few scenes of these in the movie, these really are some terrific action scenes. I really liked how some of these car chases played out. You almost wonder what they did to reserve some of these roads to film some of these scenes in, because I know this is filmed a lot in like Australian deserts. Really well done action scenes. Whatever George Miller did to pull these off, huge thumbs up once again. I love what they did here. I like how the film shows the importance of gasoline. I like how it really shows that a lot of these people who survive the apocalypse are traveling around these motor vehicles that require gasoline to move around in. So it's quite clear that gasoline is one of the most valuable supplies you can have in this apocalyptic future. And I also like how the film kind of makes the point that man relies on machine a lot, and man relies on transportation a lot to get to places. And I really like what they did here to show the importance of gasoline. There's some very fitting visuals in the film as well. I like how George Miller really makes the point that there really is nothing left. Only the best of the best survived. Only those who can handle the road and who can have really strong like motor vehicles that can outlast the bandits are really going to be the only people who survive in this wasteland. So I really like the visuals that George Miller managed to maintain in the movie. There's some also really intriguing motor vehicles here. I like how in some of these cars in the Mad Max franchise, you almost kind of don't want to touch them. I mean, they kind of have like a porcupine element to them. You're kind of worried like if I touch that, I'm gonna bleed to death on my hand. There's a lot of like spiky looking cars, and unfortunately on the back cover of this they don't give a good example, but like a lot of spiky looking cars and just things that you're kind of worried to touch. And I kind of like how when Max is running into these cars with his truck or with his car, you really kind of feel the pain with him, and you definitely feel the pain of the car too, just because you know how sharp some of these objects are on these cars. For my negatives of Mad Max 2, because it's not quite a perfect movie, I thought some of the night scenes needed some better lighting. There was a lot of night scenes in the film where I really had no idea what was going on, just because there was like one or two light sources and they were from a faraway distance. So it was really hard to tell on some of these night scenes what exactly was going on. Like I know one part, maybe there's like a part with Max interacting with a kid, getting to know him better, and they like don't really talk at night, but they're seeing what they're doing at night. I understand that that was happening in one scene, but it was very hard to see. I had to squint my eyes, almost had to turn off more lights in the room just to see what was going on in the scene. Um, so I really would have liked to prefer better lighting for some of these night scenes. There's some occasional cheap looking moments, like some of the weapons in this movie are quite clear that they're fake, fake knives or fake swords or fake guns. So some of the weapons here looked a little cheap. I didn't know because some of the stunts were so expensive to pull off, or some of the cars that they had to wreck to pull off some of the action scenes in here were so expensive to do that other aspects of the production were kind of, low budget in a sense. Because that's really too bad. Because, like I said, some of the knives in this movie are quite clear that they're fake knives, and that's kind of a downside for any film, to be honest. And every once in a while in the film, there is some occasional over the top acting. The league actors like Mel Gibson and Bruce Spence and Vernon Wells, obviously they're appropriately over the top, but there's some like smaller actors and actresses in the film where they're almost kind of going like borderline grindhouse kind of acting. And I don't know if that completely works for this film. I understand that these characters are supposed to come off as desperate and struggling, but some of them come up as a little bit too over the top in the acting department. So overall, I'm going to give Mad Max 2 The Road Warrior an 8.5 out of 10. I think it's a very good film. If you haven't experienced a Mad Max film yet, The Road Warrior is not a bad place to start. They do cover a lot of um, things that are going on in Max's life. So in a way, I haven't seen the first film yet, but from what I know about it, it sounds like this film kind of covers the big meaty details of what we needed to know from the first film going into this one. But like I said, I was perfectly able to understand it. I've watched the Mad Max 4 trailer tons of times now, so that definitely helped watching this. So I'm hoping to come back soon for a Mad Max 3 review, for Beyond Thunderdome. So look for that pretty soon. And until then, you guys, like I said, 8.5 out of 10 for me for Mad Max 2. And I'll see you guys here for a future movie review.